everyone, and welcome back to some lovely WARNO Monthly, as we are still in week number 1, and it's Meddi versus Dark Neutron coming in here, as we have Dark Neutron on the right, Meddi on the left, two pretty high level players coming in here against each other. Dark Neutron with a good finish in the WARNO League Super Tournament. And Meddi with quite some good performances over the last couple of monthlies and in WARNO League Season 1. Season 0. And we have an interesting matchup here as well. Meddi coming in with 2nd Panzer Grenadier. Dark Neutron coming in with 82nd Airborne. So I feel like that's favoring this 82nd here a bit, as the first map of the game will be the new loop 2v2/1v1. And it's gonna be interesting. Let's see how it goes. And let's see. Skimitar's, Jägeraufklärers, military police up there. A hell of a lot of stuff coming in here. As this will be quite interesting. We have some military police, we have some 50 cults, we have some airborne dragons coming around. And yeah, Jägers. Skimitar's all coming around here. Military police will come in the north. Let's see what the rest of the deployment will be. Got a couple of airbornes. So yeah, let's get some hype up here. As 82nd Airborne, for sure a pretty strong division. And it also is on the slightly better side of loop. Hopefully soon we will see a bit of a reshuffle of the deployment zones, with these going like this bit more back, and then the zones in the middle should be rather fair. You could maybe then also move this zone a bit further to the right, but so that this side here can reach these two zones a bit quicker. And at the same time as the other side, which currently the blue side has a bit of a favor of an advantage in both of the middle zones. But in general, loop a map where we see good and balanced games on. The left side has won quite a couple of these as well before, so it is a bit of bit tilted into one side, but that's with asymmetrical maps, especially before they get a bit of a rebalance, always gonna be the case. Still hoping for that map making tool that allows us for some tournament map where we just can mirror the maps on the middle. That would be also the perfect feature in that map editor, where you just do half of the map and then you can just mirror it onto the other side. Obviously, for single player and so on, that would not be great. These asymmetrical maps are looking way more natural, as in real life, most like nothing is really mirrored when it comes to terrain features either. There's always, but for competitive play, that would be, at least with parts of the map pool, quite good. Like, you also can have some asymmetrical maps, but map editor, for sure, one of the biggest things that we are all hoping and wishing for. And something that I'm also gonna ask for this Friday again, as this Friday we will have the 6th Friday Night WARNO, where you can still sign up for, guys. You can still sign up for. Exclamation mark FNV in the chat, and you can get yourself in there. So FNV, get your sign up there, get a teammate, grab a slot. 8 teams fighting it out in a single elimination format is the plan at the moment. And yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. Meanwhile, over here, Skimitar's coming up, Feldjäger's coming up. Yeah, Feldjägers plus Sicherungs is something that we see quite often nowadays. Feldjägers with the MP, it's pretty solid, pretty cost efficient in the CQC, plus the military police trait also allowing all the Sicherungs to be a bit better as well, to take a bit less stress damage. Sicherungs don't have any anti-tank, but they are somewhat decent as, like, pretty cost efficient as, you know, to tank with, and also somewhat decent in the damage output. As LMGs currently are a bit of a non-factor in infantry fights, which hopefully changes soon. Currently doing a bit little stress damage and so on. So just having rifles there at the moment is a fine way of playing the game. And airborne engineers up here together with military police M67s coming around. Good couple of units here. Doing a decent job of coming around. As the game is starting now. Military police on both sides. We have a F-15 from the get-go. We have one helicopter, one heavy hawk here. These have the big Zuni rockets on the side, which they run out of quickly. They only have 16, but they deal a lot of damage whilst they're coming. Also with 2 Humvees start here, the blue team will have a bit of an advantage. Oh, this one ran out a bit too early though. Has to go back there, has to recapture it. Yeah, Dark Neutron not taking the time there to taking Bravo completely. Now we'll be able to move on. On the other side, only 1 CV at the start for Meddi, meaning that Meddi will not fall back too far in the take, but will take a while still, and Dark Neutron will get an advantage. Both thanks to the forward deployment of his CVs and having 2 versus 1. Currently up on a +3, up in a good position in the center. BO's trying to come around here. F-15 coming in. Only a Gepard currently in the rear. It's Zwilling coming up. No Ihawks or so around though. So dealing with this F-15 won't be easy. The Tornadoes can deal with F-15s if they do catch it 2-1 or if they catch it on the way out or so. But you don't want to be trading Tornadoes in 1v1 fights unless the F-15 already is damaged by some of your AA. Already stressed out by some of your AA. Gepard here will now potentially get some damage on it. But F-15 should be able to easily get out. Yeah, 1 damage there. Tornado trying to come in. Won't be able to chase it. But no AA on the battlefield here for Dark Neutron. So the Tornado could come potentially around and try to get the Heavy Hawk. It's flying way too deep here. Meddi has to be careful. That's really risky. If another F-15 pops out, that Tornado is basically toast. But going for the Heavy Hawk down here would be a good option in my eyes. Tornado is just flying around there. Meddi, what are you doing? Please micro your air there. Gepard's coming up. Will deal with the Heavy Hawk on its own already. Has to be a bit careful with the Airborne Fireteam Dragons though. Like, this is a really aggressive Gepard. Dragons are around. So yeah, this Gepard has to be careful. I would pop smoke and get the hell out of there. But big assault here from Meddi in the south. +5 for Dark Neutron for now though. So 300 point advantage. In the north, the heavy and the military police, the dragons and the heavy MG holding the line. +3 in a second here with the Iltis leader getting the next capture. As the Delta zone in the middle is still contested. And the helicopter over here down to 1 hit point. As we have a BO Pa in an interesting spot over here. Gepard's still trying to defend himself, but Dragon's coming closer. Dragon not in the range to fire here anymore. Military police out of guns as well, but Gepard out of ammo now as well. Needs to reload. Dragon will try to get a shot. Should smoke and just drive backwards. Oh, this is risky. Engineer Dragon's currently not being able to fire though. Okay. Belldigger's pushing forward. Gepard. He's trying to make this Dragon run out of ammo, it seems. But that might be a mistake. Yeah, there we go. Gepard going down. Don't know why he moved forward again there. That was a massive mistake. That Gepard could have been so helpful in the long run. Gina here in a tough spot as well. F-15 and A-10 coming in. And Dark Neutron just looks a bit better. Like, really, that Gepard movement and that Tornado movement was a bit weird. If the Tornado would have come in around for the south, the Heavy Hawk most likely would have been dead by now. I like the Feldjäger push. And the southern section here is still under pressure, but Dark Neutron brings in a good couple of units as well. A-10 did move out again. But without Gepard here, it would be open for the taking. Zwilling coming in. Unimox running out. Couple of Ambush Pioneers. No real assault here. M40. Recoilless rifle coming in and Iltis leader coming in for the center as well. It's a +2 for Dark Neutron for now. And we have some Sheridans, which are somewhat helpful on this map as they have a decent-ish ATGM, decent range, but low accuracy and low damage. their shellac. Whilst the Pioneer with Armbrust will support this big infantry push. But if the Gepard would still be alive, this here would be a lot easier. Like, and a lot less risky. So another Gepard I would like to see. Yep, another Gepard coming in. And then I would also like to start to see some Eyehawks here. Like one over here, potentially could help out locking down the A10 play. Eyehawks pretty fantastic there. And the enemy doesn't really have the top level artillery to deal with the Eyehawks easily. So Eyehawks quite potent against 82nd in my book. The seed plane of 82nd is decent but not amazing. And you usually should be able to micro an Eyehawk that is a bit further back relatively easily against it. Zwilling coming in. Couple of Sicherungs coming in from the north. +3 for Dark Neutron once more. Aufklär still in a decent spot over here. Yes, Feldjägers will be able to deal with 50 cal here. Sicherungs moving forward. Feldjägers will move forward as well. Whilst we have some airborne coming in the rear. Ooh. Explosion over there. Sheridan getting a good shot off, but Armbrust gets the kill. Sheridan's light armor there. No match for it. The Feldjägers with the MP5s coming in nicely. Iltis leader will get the whole center, but the infantry of Dark Neutron is pushing in here. Infantry of Meddi still a good way off, and will take a while to get here. But it will be Meddi for the first time in the game, taking in a second. And the southern section here is looking quite fantastic for Meddi in my eyes. And the one flash engineer here is a bit of a nuisance. Supply truck potentially try to get these Feldjägers back up to action. As the engineer flash is out of ammo though. Heavy Hawk is around. But we have a Gepard again. We have Zwillings coming up to deal with it a bit. And we have another Gina rocket. I am not the biggest fan of that. More Zwillings coming around to just be spread all around to stun down enemy helicopters if they come in. Gina not finding a run yet. And an F-15 already on the hunt here. That was to be expected. F-15 versus Gina should be an easy kill. As there we go. Gina goes down in flame. Not the plane to really defend itself against anything in the air. Ooh, Tornado coming in with a nice run. Oh, seat F-16, but 2 tornadoes it is. The Gepard not turned off though, but the F-16 gets the kill. Okay, yeah, F-16 seed missiles get the kill. Gepard goes down. Another F-15 coming around now as the tornadoes are on their way out. No Eyehawk to help them out. One of the tornadoes will bite the dust, so in the end, a good trade here for Dark Neutron, as an A10 might be able to profit from all of this as well. Yeah, no anti-seed micro there from Meddi, big mistake, losing another Gepard, and these Gepards are worth their weight in gold against 82nd Airborne. They're pretty good against A10s, and they're fantastic against all the helicopters that can come up against you, so losing them like this early on, having 2 already going down, is a big loss. We have another Gina coming in over here, as the CV in the center went down for Meddi. Meddi currently up on a +2, as the CV of Dark Neutron here got sniped as well. But the air advantage here for Dark Neutron is kind of scary. Gina actually considering going for a run on TD A10, I'm pretty sure that's a mistake, as it doesn't have any support. Yeah, and the A10 has AM9s, the A10 has the better guns. Yes, the Gina has some 30mm, but the GAU 8 is superior to that by a long bit. That Gatling gun is really insane, and the A10 gets the kill. We'll get the hell out of here. And yeah, Meddi on the tick. That is good, but I'm not liking the loss of air units and AA units against 82nd Airborne. The ground combat though, going decently. Has to be careful over here, but at least has identified where the infantry is here now, and can deal with it accordingly. He obviously has the better tanks, but you have to be careful with the moment where you start to bring around Leo 2A3s and Leo 1A5s. Martyrs, I would say, pretty helpful in this matchup though, as a 20mm autocannon in an IFV is something that 82nd can't really mirror, so a bit long range fire there can be nice. Have to be careful with the Dragon Infantry, but the Dragon Infantry is quite expensive as well, so Dark Neutron won't bring around that many of those. Like currently, for example, none in this town whatsoever. So the Martyrs and the Scimitars and co can be quite capable here. Ooh, these Irehawks are going really far forward. And if Meddi can hold this town, that's fantastic. If Meddi gets pushed out of here, these Irehawks might go down really quickly. Like, retreating over this open field with these towed weaponry will be an absolute pain. Will be an absolute pain. Also, even though the artillery of 82nd isn't fantastic, it will have the range to hit these Irehawks here if it comes out. And has the potential to wipe them out. Irehawks, having a 5-man crew, can get killed off even by those small howitzers. Else we have the first couple of M48s on the battlefield. Decent-ish small tanks as well. Coming in here into the action. Sicherungs and Feldjäger rolling in. In the north we have a Leo 1A1 leader. That's an interesting choice. And what I would like to see from Meddi as well is artillery. That is what I would say, together with the IFVs, the biggest advantage of 2nd Panzergrenadier compared to 82nd Airborne. And some good M110s, M109s on this map can absolutely make the difference. Or you don't even have to go M109s in this matchup. Like, I would not bring those out. I would just bring out the Feldhaubitze 155mm. As that has a higher rate of fire, and 82nd can't counter battery it. Its artillery can't reach your rear line. And so you can just bring out the Feldhaubitze, and that's what we get here now. Yeah, Meddi coming in now with the right choice here, in my eyes. Has to be a bit careful of not losing too many infantry units in the center, but the Feldhaubitze, if this game goes longer, can absolutely put on a lot of work. I'm surprised that Meddi is still trying to go for the north, as the Foxtrot point is only worth 1 point, whilst the Delta point in the middle is worth 2. And I feel like going for Delta and then maybe trying to put up even more pressure towards Alpha in the south might have been the better strategy, as currently Meddi is a bit spread out, but the southern section is looking good. I like the Feldjäger Sicherungs setup over here. The Airbornes are capable as well though, and especially the Engineer Flashes here in these town fights can be pretty good. Both sides having a good amount of supply trucks, and the Zwilling is getting really annoying onto this Heavy Hawk. Heavy Hawk going really low, and the Zwilling actually able to get the kill there, most likely in a second. Yeah, not a great AA piece, but it does the job here. It does the job here. Leo 1A1 leader now coming in for the center. That's a good choice. You have to stop the take. You then still have 27 minutes remaining for making your artillery work, as the first 155mm artillery howitzers already landing good shots here. Wiping out the engineer flash, getting a bit of damage and a bit of stun damage, especially onto the airborne engineer, on the airborne end over here. And yeah, oh, perfect hit there. Those airborne dropping down to 2 hit points, and the next one gets hit by the artillery. The F155mm nearly already paid off though. The FH in the north doing a fantastic job already. Now aiming a bit further, aiming onto the supermarket. That might be a good hit as well. We have a BO moving around here. A10 with rockets moving across this part of the map. Scimitar disengaging a bit. No AA against the Heavy Hawk here. And an Avenger directed behind it, so trying to shoot it down with planes won't be easy. Sicherung's coming around. Dark Neutron back to a +3. The Leo 181 really needs to get into the center quickly, whilst the artillery is starting to put in its work. As soon as you can afford another one, I would get another one as Meddi here. As these howitzers obviously do a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure he didn't quite realize how much damage it did. It's a lot easier for us obviously to see from this perspective. Line of sight here for both sides, not fantastic. But that first salvo, or the first 2 salvos of the Feldhaubitze, already really good. And showing you why we see quite a bit of Panzergrenadier lately in the being played. It's not the most standard meta division at the moment, but it's still a pretty good all-rounder. Feldjägers engaging here against the airborne. Artillery this time not quite on target, so that's a bit of a shame. Meanwhile, F-15s versus Tornado in the air. We don't have any Eyehawks in the north yet. So, yeah, that Tornado came in a bit early. Oh, but A-10 goes down as well. And that's an important kill. I'm not even sure what... Oh, the Gepard up north must have gotten it. Yeah, Tornado in the south. Going for an Apache kill. Doesn't quite get it, though. And the F-15, can they get another kill on here? They don't have missiles anymore, but they still have guns. And the Tornado tries to escape to a weird spot on the map. And will get out. I believe that Tornado got out. And it was retreating for long enough that it actually made the run out. Okay. 155mm. Trying to go for the military police over here. Another one coming in here now. Already will start firing as well. And that's not good for Dark Neutron. But Dark Neutron's still on a +1 due to holding the whole northern zone, whilst not having lost any of the others. +1 will take forever though to get him to victory, but obviously still furthers his point advantage. 155mm down here, coming in, Sicherungs and so on. Like, yeah, 2 155mm relatively early on, I would say, is a good way of dealing this artillery game as 2nd Panzer Grenadier. Like, this map is too big to easily afford the M110s. Yes, they're a bit heavier hitting, but they are pretty pricey. And the pressure on everywhere here is not allowing really for it. Leo and F111 Napalm trying to go for both leaders at the same time, and they absolutely get it. Oh, that's painful. Meddi gets the capture there, but he loses 2 CVs for it. Eyehawk coming around now. That's a good choice, but it's coming around a bit late maybe. Yeah, Eyehawk's in the center. Moving on forward. We'll lock down the play here. As we have some Leos coming in here as well. I would like to see some more Martyrs. M48's rolling in as well. FH coming in. We have a +1 now for Meddi again. With the Leo 1A1 leader coming in for the center. Eyehawk potentially could come in for this part of the map as well. One back here in the rear could be pretty helpful. Whilst the FHs continuously fire. The BO helicopters really helpful there. Airborne. Under fire. Zwilling AA getting eliminated over here. Unfortunate. But yeah, I also like that the fire is spread. So that Dark Neutron has to micro at 2 positions. Obviously also takes more micro out of Meddi. Meddi getting a supply truck that was nearly empty, but still had some utility left there. So still a nice take. Still a nice unit to kill. Obviously this would be the prime target right now. Some hits on that would be fantastic. But Dark Neutron has to keep on microing all across the map. Leo 1A1 here though, under heavy pressure. Sheridan and the military police coming around. Military police at least running out of recoilless rifles. So actually the Leo could come forward for now. But has to be careful of the Sheridan. Has to be careful of the Heavy Hawk. And there's no anti-air against the Heavy Hawk. Really the losses of the Gepards being quite painful now for Meddi. And as we say that, more Gepards got lost in the north. That cluster and Napalm Bomber run here, 40-82nd, really good. And now the Gepard in the north is cleaned up as well. And that means we will see most likely more airplay here. On the left side, ooh, Eyehawk's out of ammo. And one Eyehawk got too close to the town, got taken out. I'm not quite sure by what, but it got killed. And yeah, that's what I was talking about. These Eyehawks and the Gepards, a bit too risky in the play there for Meddi. Obviously you have to keep them in positions where they can deal damage. But losing them is just something that you can't afford in this matchup. Tornadoes are good assistants. They can finish a job. They can make A-10's lives quite a bit difficult. And if you start to get rid of F-15s, they can hunt down F-111s quite easily as well. But you need your basic AA first. You need your Eyehawks, you need your Gepards, and then the Tornadoes can come on top. Otherwise the F-15s will just take the sky and lock it down completely. And so the losses there are quite rough. Like the rest of the gameplay, currently not going too badly for Meddi in my eyes. Eyehawk here, oh, getting a good hit against an Apache. The M1IP in the north might be in a lot of trouble. Pi helicopter coming in, Dark Neutron under pressure. Dark Neutron back to a +1 though. As the M1IP does smoke off, the Apache had to land. As we have another 155mm artillery howitzer coming in. So a lot of pressure here onto Dark Neutron from those artillery pieces, but the air of Dark Neutron is the pressure onto Meddi, plus the tick and the point advantage that Meddi will have to, that will force Meddi into an offensive eventually. Oh! Oh! That could have been fantastic. Dark Neutron now realizing landing the Apache there was risky. Ah, the BO nearly did hit the Apache on the ground with a hot 1 ATGM. That would have been a fantastic kill. A bit unfortunate for Meddi that that didn't happen in the end. Another Gepard coming in. Nighthawk in the north. And yeah, Tornado will have to live with being a suicide run there. Got rid of the helicopter in the center at least. But the pressure of Dark Neutron here is still relatively big. 155mm though. Doing a fantastic job putting this town under pressure. And that is what you want from them. If this town can be won, if the CV can be pushed out, that would make the situation a draw for now. And then you can start putting up a lot of pressure into the center with artillery as well. At the same time though, F111 with clusters coming in for the M48s, and there's no AA in the center. The AA setup here of Meddi just not quite what it needs to be to deal with the 82nd. Really the thing that you need to focus on the most. Leo 1A1 here, under fire by that cluster. Ihawk gets the first hit, doesn't follow it up though, but at least the F111F will be out for a while on repairs. 9 damage is really good there, will take it out for quite a while. Meanwhile, helicopter here in the south tries to go for the kill for the M1IP. Doesn't get a shot on target though, but the airborne here will go down to the artillery. Those are already down to 1 hit point. Artillery keeps on dropping. M1IP gets the Iltis leader though. Oh no. That's a +2 now for Dark Neutron again. Meddi not hiding the CV there well enough. And that's another CV down, which might leave Meddi with no CVs left anymore. Do we have a Jaeger leader in the north? Somehow trying to go in for this zone over here again. We have a CV in the center. And I would say in general a bit too many CVs with a bit too little protection now have come around for Meddi already. Like the double CV in the north that both went down to bombers. If one of them would have been an Ihawk, then yeah, one might have died, but you at least would have gotten the bomber in return. This way both bombers survived and you still lost 2 CVs. Yeah, the playstyle that people still will have to adjust to. How many CVs do you bring around and how do you protect them? As we have an F-15 now coming for the helicopters down here. Ihawk does connect with the first shot. Doesn't get the second hit in though. So, not finishing it off. The FH-155s trying to snipe the enemy CV now, wherever it is. But not quite on target. Whilst we have an Apache dealing a lot of damage to some infantry down here. No Gepard around to stop it. And the +2 for Dark Neutron continuing on now. As Dark Neutron is just sitting here, waiting for the game to finalize by points. Like, no big aggression out of the blue player for now. Just managing the advantage in points and in zones. As that's all that needs to be done by now. Ihawk gets a good hit onto the Apache again. Once more, doesn't finish the job though. Ihawk relatively low, but Apache pretty low. But if you would have a Gepard now, that thing would have just been dead. And that's the problem. Ooh, F-16 seed also now coming around, and oh no, this is the most important part, Meddi. Oh no, losing another AA piece, and this will open the floodgates now. There's no AA in the south. Apaches, 8 hands, whatever. Like, Dark Neutron just can abuse the 80 seconds strongest taps now to the absolute maximum. Oh no, another Gepard dying to a seed plane. Meddi has to get better at that again. That is way too sloppy on the AA play there. F-16 getting 2 kills here in 1 run. That's not supposed to happen. That is absolutely not supposed to happen. You always need to keep your radar AA on a hotkey, guys, so that you can turn it off If the enemy comes in with another plane then to follow it up, you obviously are a bit screwed, which is why you need to be careful there. And that's also why I don't like this forward position for the AA in the first place, because there you can't turn it off and get a fighter in to shoot on the other plane then maybe, which you could do if you are a bit further back, where then the tornado could come in time and so on. Like the riskiness with the AA felt a bit wrong for a deck that can win the late game if it just doesn't die to air. But now I feel like the floodgates for Dark Neutron to just finish off the game with air are open. +1 going on as Meddi is trying to get into the north. M48 coming around. Some Sicherungs coming around there as well. The Peltorbitzen running low on ammo now. The one in the north already out. Needs a supply run, as those were some of the most important units here for Meddi. But oh no, CV under bombardment by the F-111. And the center is not looking hot either. Ihawk, this time around, gets another hit on the F-111. Napalm does land on the Feldjägers, so at least the CV will survive. It's back to a 12-12 as we have another Jäger leader here in the south, but that's for sure the last leader now of Meddi in this game. M1IP under attack by the Hot One of the BO-105 helicopter. Another one sitting around over here, could come up, could try to get the kill. It just got repaired. Meddi coming around for it now. Ah, wait. Didn't start. Not sure. I guess the weapons are turned off? I'm not sure. This one is depleted, needs to be reloaded. M1IP really could need destruction. Artillery need to be reloaded. If you can kill this, that would be fantastic here for Meddi. Okay, here we go. M1IP under attack. These Hot 1 missiles with 22 damage are pretty capable. But they missed this time. The accuracy not the best. And an F-15 coming in to get the kill. F-15 will get the kill. No A8 here to stop it. Cluster bomber on some M1IPs in the center. One will go down for sure. But at the same time, military police here engaging the M40A1. M40 needs to get a hit on the M1IP. Leo 1A1 needs to be really careful there around that enemy Abrams, as we have a tornado coming in again, but there's more eagles than tornadoes now. And oh, tornado with some decent hits, but no AA on the ground now to support it. If the Ihawk would still be there, I would say the tornado would have had a good chance of enabling the kill there, but the F-15 will survive as well. These artillery howitzers need supply, and it's a draw, but that's not good for Meddi, as time is starting to run out. You need to be able to push somewhere. And that's why I didn't like the north. Like, I feel like if you go for everywhere, like, even if you start to win it in the end, it's still not enough of a tick to get you the game. Whilst I feel like breaking through in the center or in the south would have been much better play. The resources invested into the northern zone, I felt a bit wrong. Especially considering how split up AA and so on was. Zwilling coming around here against the Apache. That's pretty helpful. As the Apache is tumbling away. M1IP trying to come around. Whilst the 155mm sit here in the rear. Sicherungs and Panzergrenadiers moving forward. Marder 1A3 getting killed off though, as the M1IP is trying to do some damage here to the south. Leo 1A1 really needs to be careful. Couple of Feldjägers, 1,500 to 344 points. And the AB engineer is still alive here. The artillery not being reloaded, big blunder by Meddi as well. We have a CH now. In general, Meddi, idea really good. Execution still could be use a bit more. Whilst Dark Neutron is just playing a relatively standard 82nd Airborne, I would say also with a bit too little focus. Like the units came around all over the place, but Dark Neutron's focus was killing off the AA. That part was fine. Like just map-wise, both sides maybe lacked a bit of focus. Oh. Tornado, did you get the kill? Oh, you're going for the CH helicopter in the rear. Okay. That is a good kill as well. LRS over here coming in for the M48s. M48's getting hit already. First one biting the dust. Second one might go down as well. Yeah, first law hits. Second law hits. Kill of on both of M48s there by the LRS. Really, really good here for Dark Neutron. As the artillery is coming in once more, but it's only 10 minutes remaining. Yeah, it should come into rank next week. Together with Black Forest and 2 ways again. If we get the patch next week, which I would expect. Based on all the talks on the last Death Diary and the amount of test builds and so on created over the last couple of weeks. Or like last week, and especially over the last, over this week. Apache coming in here. Unless they have some pretty big hiccup when it comes to maybe some game-breaking bugs or so. Altobitze here coming in for the airborne. And the engineers. More Faltobitzes in the north. The Hurons sitting a bit back. And air rifles coming in for the Jaegers. M48 has to fall back as well. They have to go through this little orchard over here. Air rifles with the laws, not fantastic, but in dealing with armored vehicles, but the M48 obviously has no real armor. CV goes down, +1 for Dark Neutron, and Meddi doesn't have the CVs to face it anymore. And Meddi does surrender at this point. So GGVP to Dark Neutron in game number 1. I would say the matchup on this map is pretty fire. With Dark Neutron just focusing a bit more on what would win him the game, and with Meddi not quite countering it well enough, with losing the AE a bit too carelessly, like especially that gut part at the beginning I didn't quite understood, and then the iHawks coming a bit too far forward. Yes, you want to get a bit, gonna get the shield as far forward as possible and so on, but it was just a bit greedy, that positioning of the iHawks. And then the artillery's running out of ammo and not being replenished, big mistake. Like, those guns did a lot of work here for Meddi. If we look down, seaplanes here doing well. Yeah, Gepard's doing fantastically as well, so yeah, losing them. But if Faltobitze here doing a good job, Faltobitze here doing a good job, Faltobitze here doing a decent job. They just needed more supply. They needed more supply badly. But we'll see how it goes in game number 2. I would say these two are relatively equal. Dark Neutron slight advantage